Good afternoon, Mount Hood Territory. It is a beautiful rainy fall day, and shockingly, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. I don't know how that's possible because I feel like it should still be February or something, but Thanksgiving is right around the corner. But one of the best parts about Thanksgiving is the wineries in Mount Hood Territory open their doors for Thanksgiving wine weekend, giving you the perfect chance to find the perfect vintage for your feast, maybe something for your holiday gift giving, or maybe something just to help you cope with all the family that's in town. We're at one of the, it's not really a new winery, it's actually one of the oldest wineries in the region, but their newest tasting room in Mount Hood Territory. We're at Campbell Lane Winery on Pete's Mountain. I'm joined by Tracy, one of the owners here. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely, thanks for being here.
And as I said, you guys have a great winemaking history here, and you're kind of bringing the public into that now for the first time this next weekend.
This is true. Over Thanksgiving weekend, open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 1 to 5. And historically, the grapes that were grown here, my dad planted them in the late 80s, sort of with the pioneers of that time. And it was the largest Pinot Gris planting at the time in the nation, which was a giant 2.65 acres.
Wow, things have changed a little bit when that was the biggest in the nation.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things you said to me, now that's up to like, what, 15 acres of Pinot Gris?
A little over 15 and a half acres of Pinot Gris, right.
And now we're on Pete's Mountain, and as we were talking before we started, Pete's Mountain is almost kind of becoming its own wine region in Oregon. There's what, 5 up here now?
Yeah, which is super exciting, and we're kind of pursuing the AVA designation because we are so close to the Portland metro area and easy to get, close but feeling very far away.
Yeah, we're like what, Portland's backyard. We're what,
yeah,
20 minutes from downtown?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, some wineries, they have, several different varieties, but you guys like to kind of keep that laser focus. And you focus on Pinots, which are really, kind of an Oregon staple, correct?
This is true. At this point in time, we're really committed to estate grown, reserve grown, and so we have the Pinot Gris, and then we have the Pinot Noir. And then we've planted some Albarino, which is a great kind of a varietal off the Atlantic coast in northern Spain, Galicia area.
Yeah, that's a new one that's really starting to make the rounds in America, I've found.
Yeah, and that was something my dad was both my parents have been really keen in regards to their travel, and that was a grape and a varietal that they always really liked, and so we planted those vines, a little over like a couple hundred vines themselves about a year and a half ago.
Now, one of the other things that's really cool, because not only do you guys have that great history, but you guys have been doing the organic thing before it was cool. And you guys have really just kept that going.
Yeah, we were talking earlier that when I was raised, because I was raised here in Oswego, and it was during the time when I was in high school, my mom would have us take all of our cans from soup or beans or whatever, and we'd wash them out and take either end out and scrape the label off because you couldn't leave the label on, and then we'd smash them and hold them all, and then Mom would drive and find a recycling place to recycle them. So they've always been very committed to the environment, and that's why Dad and Mom were very committed to keeping this vineyard certified and life certified. That I think this is the 5th year. That 5 years ago we started on that life certified path, and that's kind of a journey in and of itself, but great in terms of sustainable, salmon safe, keeping everything environmentally.
And as you know, if you're an Oregonian or no Oregon, we care about our environment.
Yes,
we want to be good stewards of the environment, and we get some great benefits from the lands, but we want to take care of it and make sure that it's there for future generations. And we're talking to pioneers of that very philosophy here, so that's really exciting.
It's pretty fun.
And another thing that's really great about the Mount Hood Territory wineries is in places you go that, have kind of just the huge, massive wineries, is they're small, they're family owned. You get to meet the winemakers. And sometimes it feels like you're almost being invited into the winemaker's home. But in this case, actually where we are in your home.
Yes, you are. We're in the atrium of a home that was the first solar house built in Clackamas County. And it was built in, I think, 77 is when it was designed. And so it's a solar envelope house, and this is kind of our journey into, exactly as you said, inviting folks into our home. Initial tasting room, eventually the tasting room will either be sort of on 2 different locations that are available in the 100 acres that we have up here.
Now, I really like this. Right now we can't show you, much of the view because it is a rainy day here, but you've got some pretty stellar views up here, correct?
Yes. Stellar view due east of Mount Hood, and then if you're like you're panning right now, or Molly's panning now, obviously lots of wood, which is extraordinarily beautiful, and people always really enjoy that. And then if you look a little bit towards the west, you can see the very tip of the vineyard. And if you're in that vineyard or over on that sort of edge of the property, you can literally see down to Salem, so down over Canby and the Willamette River as it curves around. And so it's pretty extraordinary because we're on the highest elevation of Pete's Mountain, about 750 feet. And so we're extraordinary location, extraordinary history.
And from what I understand, it is that that mix of, you know, that elevation, the weather, and then just that volcanic rock, the volcanic soil of Pete's Mountain that is making this such a successful wine production area.
Absolutely. In fact, my husband actually tells the story better than I, but I'll pirate it. When we expanded the Pinot Noir, this is a couple of years ago, the fellow that we came up to do the, start clearing the land, I would walk down and it was just like, oh my gosh, it's all rocks. There's just rocks everywhere. And I was a little like worried about that or concerned about that. But then the fellow that was up here had a conversation with my husband, and he got off the tractor and walked over and he goes, do you know you're sitting on a gold mine here? This rock is it's the perfect soil, perfect south slope for growing Pinot Noir in particular. So who knew?
Well, let's quit talking about the wine and try a little bit of that. That's my favorite part of all this.
I agree. I don't blame you.
Well, here, I will get the glass, and you tell me what we're going to try first.
Okay, I'll take you to actually the 2015 Pinot Gris.
Okay.
2014 was our first year, and it's a little drier. And interesting enough, when we're in Bend, because we were in Bend for about 35 years, the Bendites tend to prefer the 2014, the Portlanders tend to prefer the 2015, which is a little bit sweeter. Because
interesting, there's a regional difference there. I never even thought about that.
Who knew?
You know what? It's because they have to deal with the capital all the time, so they're drier, a little more cynical. And
you think that's it?
I'm going to go with that. I'm going with that. That's my theory.
Okay.
Somebody from Salem, tell me if I'm wrong.
So that's what we're going to go, and then the 2016 is actually a mix between, it's sort of a mix between 2014 and 2015. Not literally, just in terms of its level of sweetness. So. And
one thing I want to point out, Molly, zoom in on that. Look how cool this label is. I mean, you've got, you know, the cutout there. That's not actually painted on the label. That is actually the glass, this two-piece. And if you look in the back, you can actually see more design on the back. So this is a really, you know, like a 3D design for the label, which is really unique. I like that.
The label was designed by a fellow named Bobby Evers out of Bend, and his family founded Crux Fermentation Project, which is a really if folks that live in the beer world in Oregon, they all know about Crux. And they recognize the label because there's sort of this reverse imaging going on. So he designed that label, and then it has the Campbell boar's head, which is the symbol of hospitality. And this was kind of designated as either Campbell Lane or the Willamette River, or the bottom of a corkscrew. So very innovative.
It's open to interpretation.
It's very exciting. So,
all right. Cheers.
Cheers. Or slanche. That's what we say. That's the Gaelic Scottish for cheers.
I learned something today.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh, that is good.
We hear that a lot. Folks that say, I don't like white wine. I'm not sure about that Pinot Gris. Oh, this is really good.
Yeah. This is the 15 again, right?
This is the 15.
And you said it's a little sweeter?
A little sweeter.
But it's not too sweet. There's just that right hit of it. It's really nice.
And
very bright and crisp.
Siri is our winemaker, and she is with Northwest Wine.
Okay.
Raised on a little island in France, and her parents owned a vineyard, and then she's brilliant, just brilliant.
I would say so. I would agree with that assessment.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Now what is kind of behind the Pinot Noir? Are those, you know, kind of that big bold ones, or?
No, not necessarily, because it's interesting, because we tend to do, what she's done with us so far is a new oak versus an old oak.
Oh, okay.
And then the amount of time it is on oak is different, and part of that is very intentional because she's also the winemaker for Pete's Mountain Winery, who are neighbors and really good friends. And so she's done this incredibly brilliant job of balancing the grapes that come off basically the same mountain, but making the wines very different in terms of how she manages them.
And it's so amazing how that works. I mean, just that.
The science.
There's such a science behind the art. Winemaking is a beautiful marriage of science and art. Here's your quote for the day, folks.
It is.
Winemaking is a beautiful marriage of science and art. I should make a t-shirt.
You should make a t-shirt.
Okay, I'm doing that. Let's make a t-shirt.
The 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is really young, just released. In fact, we aren't selling this in the stores yet. The 2015s are in Market of Choice in Bend, Crux on tap. Which is pretty cool. It's on tap because we kegged it for some restaurants and Crux Fermentation Project. And then the 2016, so it's really young. But
like
it's really
me.
surprising. Just like you.
Yeah. Anybody believe that one? Raise your hand.
And so I chose that just because it is so young, but it's still really drinkable. I mean, we just got this like maybe 4 weeks ago.
Ooh, that smells great. Look at that beautiful color. You know what? Considering it's almost the season, it has a beautiful Christmas color right there.
It is a gorgeous Christmas color.
I want a Christmas ornament that looks like that. Oh, wow. Yeah, I would never guess that this was that young.
Just released.
Wow. You know, it's more subtle than some other noirs that you get, but it's really, you know, smooth and warm and inviting, I'd almost say. Yeah.
And drinkable.
Yeah, that was actually a really good word. And I mean, this is something I think that would pair with a lot of nice things. I mean, it's kind of got some versatility to it.
This is true.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, tell people how they can get this experience for themselves. How do they find you?
Gosh, well, up on Campbell Lane, certainly find us via Google Maps and find the address or give us a call. You can find the wine itself in the new seasons in the Portland area, Market of Choice in Bend and Crux Fermentation in Bend, and then we're opening this area again as the kind of the initial tasting room experience over Thanksgiving from 1 to 5 on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then we're going to kind of use that as a jump-off point of how often we will be open on the weekends, whether we open both Saturday and Sunday or maybe just Sunday afternoon. So that's kind of yet to be determined.
So you guys are also on Facebook. We've got the page tagged in this post. And you're on Instagram as well?
Yes.
So if any of you guys are Instagrammers, they're at CL Winery.
Correct.
And then again, those hours, the next weekend, the Thanksgiving weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday from
1 to 5.
1 to 5. Probably Sundays after that. We're kind of going to see how that all goes.
Yeah.
All right.
And Thanksgiving weekend, we'll have some really great food that's kind of paired with the wine. And so that'll be a great experience as well. Try to do that. I think that mix of pairing the food with wine, getting the tastes, and is a really great part of the experience as well.
Well, you know, and I think, you know, especially in this case, it's really important because, you know, with that Thanksgiving wine weekend, we're looking for wines for the holidays with all the food that's going to be coming up. You got to have that chance to match it with something that you're going to be eating. And I love food. I love wine. So, I mean, that just seems like a perfect mix right there as well.
Win-win.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a question out there in Facebook land.
Actually, did you mention that all the Westland wineries, you're going to have the same hours for Thanksgiving?
They're going to be really similar.
Okay.
So Twill, Molly down at Twill, and then Pete's Mountain Winery and ourselves, we're all going to be open. You'll have to double check the post, but the goal was to be open Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 1 to 5.
Perfect.
And I'm not positive about the Thayers, Pete's Mountain, but also Tumwater. But they'll be open, their hours are a little bit longer.
Okay.
So the 4 of us, which is super exciting in regards to being able to come out to this area so quickly from the Portland area and access 4 incredible wineries and
well, that's the thing.
amazing setting.
We're 20 minutes from downtown Portland, so we're right in Portland's backyard. You don't have to go, you know, far for some excellent wine tasting. You just go basically in your backyard. And again, Thanksgiving wine weekend, these 4 wineries will be open, but other wineries throughout Mount Hood territory will be open. If you click the link or the Learn More button that'll be in this post, you'll be able to find a list of even more wineries. So you can just stock up your cellar for the next few years with Mount Hood territory wineries that are celebrating Thanksgiving wine weekend.
Super exciting.
Thanks for having us out there. It was great meeting you. Great hearing your story. Thanks for sharing it with us.
Absolutely.
Mount Hood territory, thanks for joining us live again. We'll see you next week when we're somewhere. I don't remember again. I need to start planning this ahead. Molly, where are we next week?
We're at Timberline next week.
That's right. Next week,
The
the day before Thanksgiving,
Lots of
we're going
snow.
to show you some cool snow stuff happening up at Timberline Lodge. and some ways that you can get there even cheaper. So join us next week at Timberline Lodge when we're Mount Hood Territory Live. Thanks for joining us this week out here at Campbell Lane Winery. We'll see you next week. Have a great day.